eye-opening and really sobering look at the state of young men in this country right now. In his new book, Notes on Being a Man, podcaster and professor Scott Galloway paints a dire picture of men and boys struggling like never before.
He also tackles the mixed signals from our modern culture about what masculinity should and should not be, with consequences that affect everybody. Scott, we're so glad to have you here. This is an important conversation, and appreciate your courage in having it. But let's just go to the stats right now, because it's actually kind of shocking, and you lay it out at the top of the book. 16% of 18 to 24-year-olds live with their parents. Still 1 in 5 live with their parents at 30. You've got 15% of men saying they have no close friends. They're also 4 times more likely to take their own lives. Why has this particular cohort, young men, fallen so far so fast?
Oh, I think it's a variety of things. Educational. The education system is somewhat biased against a boy. Think about what the behaviors we encourage. Sit still, be a pleaser, raise your hand. You probably just described a girl. A boy is, on a behavioral adjusted basis, for the exact same behavior, twice as likely to be suspended as a girl, 5 times more likely if he's a black boy. 7 in 10 high school valedictorians are girls. You have essentially in college, it's going to be, you're going to have 2 to 1 female to male college graduates. So there's a bit of a bias. 50 years ago, when it was 40-60 female to male, we had Title IX, which was great, and women were still on their way up. Now it's flipped. It's more like 66-33 female to male graduation, but there's no discussion of male affirmative action. So we have an educational system biased against them. We have economic policies that have effectively taken money from young people and transferred it to people my age. People my age are 72% wealthier than they were 40 years ago. People under the age of 40 are 24% less wealthy. And something we don't like to acknowledge is that men become somewhat unattractive to the opposite sex and lack self-esteem and lose their role when they're not economically viable. 3/4 of women say economic viability is key to mate. It's only 1/4 of men who say that. So they have fewer educational opportunities. They have legislative policies and tax policies that have taken money out of them. They've also been a little bit pathologized. I talk about the fact that a man's desire to have a relationship and, quite frankly, to have sex, it's been pathologized. But that fire should and is usually used to be a better man. Dress better, be in shape. The secret weapon for attracting a mate, a kindness practice. But where does a man demonstrate excellence? They're not going to work, they're not going to school. 40% of bars and pubs have closed down since COVID. Where does he demonstrate excellence? And if you talk to women, and I'll wrap up here, who've been married longer than 40 years, they say they were not interested in him in the beginning, but they fell in love.